A young boy named Xiaolong spends his days chasing after the girl he likes. She eventually gets annoyed and asks what he actually wants from her. With full confidence, Xiaolong proudly shows her a marriage certificate, hoping she will become his wife. Of course, she refuses at first, but the moment he hands her a ticket to a famous boy band concert, she changes her mind and signs the certificate. Xiaolong becomes even more excited, already dreaming of having 3 future children named Bruce Lee, Stanley, and Rock Lee. But his happiness collapses in an instant when he discovers that the girl already has a boyfriend. To make things worse, she draws a little poop doodle on their marriage certificate. Heartbroken, Xiaolong bursts into tears. His oldest sister steps in, promising that she will protect him forever and will never let any girl hurt him again. Soon, all 4 of his other sisters rush over to comfort him. But when Xiaolong insists that he still wants a girlfriend someday, the 5 sisters snap. They declare that he will never be allowed to date again. And that was the moment his life spiraled into chaos. This is How to Train Our Dragon. 7 years later, that rule is still in place. Xiaolong is now in high school, but his sisters watch him constantly, making sure he stays far away from girls. Their parents have divorced and moved overseas, so the sisters have taken full responsibility for raising and protecting their only brother. Wuji loves bringing him food. Sijai is an expert in archery. Sanjay monitors him through the school CCTV system. Urji is a strict teacher at his school. And the eldest, Daji, basically controls every part of his daily life. One day, Xiaolong's friend dares him to peek into the girls' changing room, claiming he has invented an invisibility cloak like the one from Harry Potter. The cloak turns out to be fake, and the friend is caught immediately. Xiaolong hiding inside a locker is discovered soon after. He is dragged into the teacher's office, which turns out to be his second sister's workplace, and she scolds him nonstop. Later in class, a new student arrives. Her name is Chiki, and Xiaolong is stunned to see that she is the same girl who escorted him to the teacher's office earlier. She sits beside him, and the two of them share an awkward moment as their eyes meet. On his way home, Xiaolong is furious. His 5 sisters never stop watching him, and the constant surveillance is starting to drive him crazy. For a moment, he even considers running away overseas with his savings. Then he remembers that all of his money is controlled by his sisters. With no way out, he feels completely stuck. Trying to make peace, Xiaolong cooks a full meal for all 5 of his sisters. They are impressed with how good it tastes. Even Erji agrees, but the moment she hears that Xiaolong dared to sneak into the girls' changing room, everything changes. Their oldest sister explodes with anger and Xiaolong is punished again. She reminds him that girls are complicated and not something he can handle. Every strict rule they impose is meant to protect him so he will never be hurt again. Now she wants Xiaolong to promise that he will never make a girl cry, and if he ever does, he must take full responsibility. Xiaolong agrees, but he also insists that he wants a girlfriend, so they will stop hovering over him. His oldest sister allows it, but with a condition. Any girl who wants to date Xiaolong must first pass a thorough inspection by all 5 sisters. It sounds impossible, but Xiaolong believes he can find the right person if he promotes himself as single and available. Seeing him determined, his friend Xiaopeng suggests the new student, Chiki. He reveals that she has transferred schools many times and is known for helping others. She has stopped bullying incidents, even saved a student who was about to drop out. Realizing that Chiki might be exactly the type of strong girl he needs, Xiaolong decides she should be his future girlfriend and starts planning how to approach her. During art class, while everyone is drawing imaginary animals, Xiaolong sends Xiaopeng to gather information about what Chiki likes. Instead of helping, Xiaopeng invents a wild story. He claims Xiaolong grew up without parents and that his sisters want to harvest his organs. He even says each sister has already chosen which part of his body to take. Chiki is horrified and wants to talk to the sisters directly, but Xiaopeng insists that talking will not change anything and that only love can save Xiaolong. He says the sisters once promised that if Xiaolong ever got a girlfriend, they would spare him. To protect Xiaolong, he begs Chiki to become his girlfriend, even pretending he has never dated anyone before. Then, without warning, he runs off to release a bear from a cave. Panic erupts as everyone screams and runs. Xiaolong uses the chaos as a chance to escape with Chiki. After a moment, they realize the bear is only a toy. But Xiaopeng pretends to be terrified and activates the mechanical bear again with a coin. It starts moving, Xiaolong slips off a platform and knocks himself out. He is rushed to the school clinic where Chiki stays by his side while enjoying an ice cream. Soon, Wu Ji arrives in a panic and begins checking his entire body, especially a dragon-shaped birthmark on a private area. CGA rushes in as well, making sure the mark is still there. Everything looks fine, but the sisters continue fussing and trying various ways to heal him. Seeing the chaos, Chiki finally steps in and tells them to stop. The sisters turn to her and demand to know who she is. Chiki calmly states that she is Xiaolong's girlfriend. The news shocks them all. Within moments, the information spreads to the other sisters, and none of them are happy. They want to punish Xiaolong for getting a girlfriend without their permission. When Xiaolong insists that Chiki is his true love, their oldest sister refuses to believe him. She orders the others to keep watching him closely, and if he is lying, she warns Xiaolong to be ready, because she will punish him herself, and he might as well prepare a wheelchair. The next day, while Xiaolong is walking with Chiki, his life turns into a horror show when Wu Jie suddenly appears behind them like a ghost. His sisters are convinced that Xiaolong and Chiki are not close enough and fear he will get his heart broken again. Sijia even fires an arrow straight at Chiki, and Xiaolong has to block it on instinct. Chiki is understandably furious. The sisters insist they only want their brother back, but Chiki believes they truly want to steal his organs. Wu Jie and Sijia begin sabotaging Chiki by sending boys to pretend to be her boyfriend and even shooting arrows coated in a memory-wiping potion. Just as Sijia prepares another shot, a time bomb appears out of nowhere and interrupts her aim. Xiaolong leaps forward to shield Chiki from the blast. Even that does not stop Sijia, who gets ready to fire again until a sudden flash grenade blinds everyone. It is the work of a mysterious student who is skilled at making explosives and has secretly vowed to protect Chiki, whom he considers precious. Once things calm down, Xiaolong and Chiki share ice cream on the school rooftop. Chiki opens up about her life, explaining that she also grew up without parents. After they passed away, she moved constantly with her uncle because of his job. That is why she has already attended 13 schools this year alone. She now promises to protect Xiaolong and make sure no one touches his organs, though she keeps one part of the truth to herself. Meanwhile, Wu Xie and Sijie report their failure to San Jie. Fortunately, she has prepared CCTV footage that could ruin Chiki's reputation, but before she can upload it, the power in their house suddenly goes out. It is also the work of the mysterious student. With their plan ruined, they turn to Ji and ask for help. She organizes a series of competitions to defeat Chiki, from staring contests to swimming races. Chiki loses, mostly because they cheat at every event. Then Dajie arrives unexpectedly and challenges Chiki to a fair rematch. If Chiki wins, she will be allowed to date Xiaolong. The final challenge is to throw a heavy metal ball as far as possible. When Dajie takes her turn, Chiki senses something wrong. She realizes the ball is actually a bomb, but Dajie refuses to let her intervene. Chiki has no choice but to slam the ball to the ground, then hurl it into the air where it explodes safely. Seeing her bravery and good heart, Dajie finally approves her relationship with Xiaolong. Xiaolong is thrilled, feeling like he is finally free from his sister's extremely intense protection. To celebrate, Xiaolong and Chiki go on a date that takes them from a nursing home to observe insects, donate blood, and clean up the beach together. That evening, Chiki opens up about her mother, who once worked as a volunteer in Africa helping refugees. Her mother suffered a severe accident and lost a large amount of blood. When she reached the hospital, there was not enough blood available, which ultimately cost her life. Xiaolong comforts Chiki, especially when she shares her dream of following her mother's footsteps. Now that Chiki knows Xiaolong's organs are safe, she gently asks if he still needs her as his girlfriend. Xiaolong explains that his sisters might still be watching from the shadows, so he begs her to stay with him a little longer. The two of them spend the night together under the peaceful sky, enjoying a rare moment without chaos. The next morning, Xiaolong spots Chiki enjoying the beach and decides to join her. This feels like the right moment to confess the truth. He finally admits that the whole organ harvesting story was a lie and tells her she should stay away from him. But his voice is drowned out by the sound of the waves, and Chiki completely misreads the situation. She thinks he is confessing his love. She responds with the same emotion, leaving Xiaolong frozen with guilt, but he decides not to correct her. Back at school, the teachers announce that a horror-themed event is coming, and Xiaolong's class is assigned to handle the decorations. Xiaolong is chosen as the project leader, something he protests immediately. Chiki steps in and offers to help, and though he is reluctant, he eventually agrees. After class, Wu Ji teases Xiaolong about his lunch. Chiki asks for a moment to check the stage, and Xiaolong lets her go. But when the lunchbox is opened, A grenade drops out and explodes inside the classroom. Xiaolong rushes through the smoke to rescue his unconscious sister and manages to get her out safely. Soon, the rest of the sisters arrive, worried and ready to report to their parents that Xiaolong has shown heroic bravery. Chiki overhears their conversation and is crushed. She realizes Xiaolong lied about his family situation. Hurt and disappointed, she walks away. Xiaolong chases after her but slips along with her favorite ice cream. On the stick, he notices a message explaining that collecting all the sticks forms a sentence that grants a trip to Africa. He immediately understands that this must be Chiki's dream. Determined to fix things, he keeps chasing her. He eventually finds her on the stairs, but she has already turned cold. From that day on, Chiki avoids him completely. Even as the horror event decorations near completion, she refuses to acknowledge him. One afternoon, while Xiaolong is spacing out in the bathroom, he notices a storm rolling in and worries the event might get cancelled. He also worries about Chiki, who might still be working at school. After catching a glimpse of the news on TV, he runs straight out the door, with without clothes in a moment of pure panic. His sisters are shocked, but also proud, realizing their little brother is finally growing up. When Xiaolong reaches the school, he finds Chiki still working on the decorations and he jumps in to help her. Seeing that she is still upset, he shows her the stack of ice cream sticks he collected and explains that he only needs one more word for them to win the trip to Africa together. Chiki stays silent. She tells him that his lies hurt her deeply. She thanks him for being a friend, but says she will transfer to a new school after the event. The next day, Xiaolong drifts through school in a gloomy haze. Soon, someone approaches who he assumes is Chiki. It is actually the mysterious student. Enraged by the pain Xiaolong caused, he knocks Xiaolong out with a single punch. Later, the big horror event begins, featuring the incredible decorations created by Xiaolong's class. Xiaopeng asks Chiki if she has seen Xiaolong anywhere, but Chiki, still angry, says she has not. That answer worries Xiaopeng because Xiaolong has not been seen all day. Xiaolong's sisters are now worried too. They receive a report from Sanjie, who manages to track his location somewhere inside the school. Moments later, the event's host steps onto the stage and announces the main attraction, a stunt that will send Xiaolong to planet Mars using a rocket. The crowd is confused, but the truth becomes clear. The host is actually Xiaolong's kidnapper. He introduces himself as Hei Yi. Xijie immediately recognizes him. She remembers the bomb he once threw at her, and the detonator he is now holding. She is convinced this is the same terrorist who tried to hurt their brother. She fires an arrow at him, but it misses. Chiki demands to know what Hei Yi wants. He reveals that everything he has done is for her. He confesses that he has been following her from school to school, admiring her from the shadows but never brave enough to speak to her. In other words, he is a stalker, and he is furious that Chiki never noticed him. To force himself into her memory, he prepares to launch the rocket. The sisters and Chiki refuse to let it happen. They grab hold of the rope attached to Siji's arrow, which is embedded in the rocket, trying to stop it. Sanjai attempts to hack into the rocket's control system. She succeeds in interrupting the launch sequence, but a new problem appears. There is a time bomb inside the rocket, and it is already active. Chiki refuses to give up. She swings across the platform using the rope and reaches for Xiaolong. In the middle of the chaos, she blurts out the truth. She really does want to go to Africa with him. Hearing this, Xiaolong finally admits everything. The organ story was a lie, and he genuinely likes her. Chiki finally understands how he truly feels. Fearing the bomb will explode inside the school grounds, Hei Yi tries to run. Dajie arrives just in time, knocks him out cold, and ends the threat. But Xiaolong knows Chiki might still be in danger. To protect her, he cuts the rope and lets himself rocket upward. A moment later, the sky erupts with an explosion. Everyone watches in horror, believing Xiaolong is gone. Some time passes. Chiki visits a grave in silence. Then Xiaolong appears behind her, alive. He survived the blast with only a broken arm. The grave she is visiting belongs to her mother. Chiki tells him she plans to stay here until she finishes college, together with her boyfriend. They even plan to go to Africa someday. Before they can enjoy the moment, Xiaolong's sisters show up and announce that they want to go to Africa too. The story closes with all 5 sisters still guarding Xiaolong with the same overwhelming affection. And Xiaolong, as always, begins to feel frustrated with their never-ending protection. So the moral of the story is if you lie too much, life will yeet you into chaos faster than a rocket to Mars.